everyone. Welcome to a new week. This week, our new content is our podcast. And what we did was a podcast with the two of us talking about the pros and cons of single family homes, small multifamily, and large multifamily properties. And Kenji and I have owned both. All of them, actually. We still have single family. We have a lot of small multifamily in our portfolio and then a couple big ones now. And so we've tried them all ourselves, and we know that there are upsides and downsides of every single type of property. And so we wanted to kind of give you some insights we've learned through the journey.
Yeah, and then also wanted to harken back to an old article that we wrote pretty early on in our blog, and it was titled "Why You Should Focus on 2 to 4 Unit Multifamily Residences," which is kind of a funny title given the podcast episode. But back then, I think even still now, I think if you're just getting started, we think 2 to 4 units are a really great place to start, and kind of went into the pros and cons of that article as well.
And semi-retired MD news, I was featured this week on Kevin MD's podcast, which was really exciting. It was published on 2/23, and it was really him asking me about my journey as a physician, and then why I made that difficult choice to leave my half-time position and turn into a moonlighter back in October of this year. And it really refers to this article I wrote for him, and then also it's on our blog called "After 4,380 Days, a Calling and a Pair of Dance Goes Falls Apart."
It was actually October last year.
Yeah.
But so relatively recent, but it was a tough decision, I think.
It took me a long time to make that decision.
Yeah. And then on the real estate front, we are actually looking at investing in a fund. It's something that we've never done before. We typically like to invest in our own properties. I think what's different about this is that we know the operator really well. And also several of the properties are in a neighborhood where we own our largest property, and we really believe in that neighborhood, and we think that the returns can be really good with it. So something that you guys might hear more about in the future, so stay tuned.
And then in personal news, our childcare just fell apart this afternoon. So we just scrambled, and I think we're figuring out a solution. And this kind of stuff happens. It's just to be expected, part of life.
Yeah, it just goes to show, right? It's like, these curveballs happen, and really it was a pretty important next 2.5 weeks. Like we needed here in Hawaii, we needed childcare, and it fell apart, but we'll just figure it out, right? And so I don't think it really affected us much, but we figured it out. We solved the problem. So
well, we hope you guys have an excellent week, and we'll see you next week.